my first question to everybody has been, how did you even hear about the program? Why did you want to join it? What sparked your interest in it? And what about DYW kind of stood out to you and you were like, I can do that. I want to do that.
I think it starts with the local program for sure. So my local program encapsulates the entirety of San Diego, but a lot of girls from my school have been known to sort of feed into that program. So I heard about the program from a girl in the grade above me, so just word of mouth. I think that in a way that our local program was trying to get a little more diversity in terms of what schools the girls were coming from is having communication about the program through the schools. And I'm pretty sure all of the schools were very excited to have a program like this and to be able to advertise that. So I think that was a good strategy our local program had.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, it really just starts at that local level
Right.
because, um, I mean, that's essentially where it all starts is it's how you get to the national level, the state level, and then the national level. So with all of that, what stood out in the program to you that was something that you just really admired, or you're like, I love the way that they did this. This really is essential to how things run. It's a well-oiled machine, or what just stood out to you in your local program and now state programs that kind of set the bar for you?
Yeah, so I think it's the local program, especially because the state program was just so many girls that it was harder to do this. But our local program really focused on and emphasized personal growth, even over the competitive aspect. So we had things such as self-betterment workshops and classes, and we had a lot of great guest speakers. And I joined the first week knowing that, there was no commitment. I was just going there to feel things out. But the second I was able to hear from, powerful female role models that we don't get to hear from at schools and I don't get to talk to in my day-to-day, listening to those people. And we even did a self-defense workshop, which was really cool because I don't really consider myself a fighter or a violent person, but I learned a lot about why it's important to have self-defense and why it's important for women especially to have that second instinct. So I think that sort of self-betterment aspect can be something that's more emphasized.
Yeah, totally. And we love how the local and state programs sort of take the program and spin it into something that their girls can benefit from. And it's so cool to see the different ways that y'all are doing that. So you,
Definitely.
you've done the local program, you've done the state program. Now you are the representative for California, which is incredible. Congratulations on that. So, what do you hope to gain from this newfound title, or what do you hope that you receive, and how you can benefit from being the DYW of California?
I think going into this, my biggest sort of fear was public speaking and sort of expressing myself. I've always been more of a writer than a speaker. So I think personally, in terms of goals that I've had, is to just gain more confidence and be more self-assured in terms of sort of relating to career aspects and what I'm trying to do in the future. I've always been a really big advocate for female representation in technology and in STEM. And I'm really seeing that the title that I have of Distinguished Young Women of California has made it really easy for me to reach out to people, especially for clubs that I'm running at my own school. I'm able to say, hey, I'm the Distinguished Young Women of California, and I stand for these values, these things. Could you come and speak? And it's just been so great to have all of these people reaching out to me and sort of bringing that sort of attention and attraction to my school. So I just hope to be able to continue doing that.
Yeah, and it's really cool that that's something that excites you and that you're seeing the growth in yourself from practicing, because that's essentially what we're doing every single day is practice makes perfect. Public speaking is still hard for me, and I have a TV background. So I can speak in front of a camera all day, but put me in front of a crowd with all these eyeballs on me, and that is intimidating to me.
Yeah,
But it going through this process and gaining that experience, it's invaluable. I mean, you're going to learn so many things about yourself. You're going to learn so many things about other people and how you can be better. And I think that's sort of what it's all about, is having that
definitely.
sisterhood, that bond, and how you
100%.
can, yeah, how you can, sort of feed off of people in a way and say, oh, I really love the way she handled that. I want to do better at handling a situation like that. Or, she spoke so well at the self-expression portion. How can I do better at that? And so it's really cool to sort of see something and figure out how you can utilize it to better yourself and be a better person in the world and, all that cheesy stuff. But it's so helpful and it makes you more well-rounded. So it's really cool having these conversations with y'all. It's opening my eyes a little because I don't think I was, when I even participated in high school, I was not that confident. And so this, as confident as the girls, y'all that I'm speaking to, it's so eye-opening to see how strong and brilliant and brave and courageous you guys are. And I think that is going to speak volumes to potential new participants because you can look at it on the outside and see, oh, this course sort of looks like a pageant. I'm not a pageant girl. I don't want to do that. But it's not, it's so much more than that. We want to know your brains. We want to know, how well you handle yourself and present yourself and carry yourself in public. And there's just so many great qualities that you get from this program, which is really, really cool.
I
Um,
think
Go ahead.
also, of course, everything that you said, of course, but for me, the biggest appeal, like, of course, meeting girls who are like-minded and learning from people. But I think something that can be appealing to a lot of future participants is if they sort of have something that they really believe in, like they advocate for a certain thing, or they have, I don't want to say platform because it sounds pageanty, but just something that's really important to them. This gives them that opportunity to speak about that, whether it's self-expression or interview or just being able to represent yourself and have yourself be truly seen, despite all the competitive aspectness of it, is just so important because I feel like I've just never had a platform like this to raise my voice about anything or to really talk about my own opinions because who cares about my opinions? But yeah, it's just been really great to be able to use my voice for something positive.
Yeah. And I mean, it kind of does show you that your voice does matter.
Yeah.
People do care what Tanisha thinks. And it's really cool to have that sort of admired by your peers and by
Right.
people that you look up to. So it's
Exactly.
really, really cool to see that and hear that from you, because it's kind of across the board. It's what I'm gathering from the conversations that I've had so far. Y'all are just really excited and ambitious to keep going, and you have that drive to have a platform or to stand for something. And I can't say that I was at that maturity level when I was your age. So I admire y'all. And it's really cool as an almost 33-year-old to see that and see how I can be better myself, which is awesome. So one of our initiatives this year is, or really themes, I guess, is ripple effect and how one small gesture can make such a big difference. So it can be this conversation, somebody can see it and say, wow, that makes me want to join the program. I want to do that. I want to be where she is right now. I want to be the California State Representative for Distinguished Young Women. And how just that one small gesture, this one small conversation can make such a big difference. And we're talking with participant level, with volunteers. That's how we survive as volunteers, people don't get paid for for doing this. So it's incredible. It's necessary for these small gestures because of how big of an impact they make. And it goes even further with our sponsors who provide the funds for our scholarships, because otherwise, how does this program survive? So that one small donation actually helps fund a girl's education. So we want to make sure that message is getting out there. And we want to know how we can do better at that. So my question to you is, how do you suggest that we get that message across, to whether it's to get more participants, more people excited about the program, more volunteers, or even more sponsors?
Right. I think it's it doesn't even seem like something that's difficult because this program is just that good. I mean, it's just benefit after benefit, pro after pro. But I think in terms of outreach, we need to be sort of targeting the right communities and people. Um, Again, I said our local program has been trying to specifically contact schools. I think that's a great way to get this started, maybe even at the middle school, sort of eighth grade level, entering into high school, because maybe they'll, junior years comes around and they remember, oh, I remember hearing from this DYW or this volunteer, and I remember really liking the program. A lot of the volunteers, I'm pretty sure, are people who participated in the program themselves or are related to somebody who participated in the program. So again, I guess just with more participants come more volunteers. Yeah, I think at school is where it should start. And I really don't think any school would say no. I mean, there's just so many benefits, especially with the scholarship aspect of it. Susan and I have contacted a program in our community called PUSD Cares, Youth in Transition, and essentially they're working with students in our school district facing home instability and the housing crisis. And of course, the scholarship would benefit them over anybody else. So sort of, and especially because entering this program is free. So exposing this program to them has been especially rewarding. And it's sort of made me take a step back and say, this is an incredible opportunity, even for me. Um, so even sort of targeting those sorts of programs in specific school districts could help as well.
Yeah, definitely. And that's pretty much what I'm hearing from the other girls too, is that we just got to get in the schools. We got to get the word out. A lot of people are only hearing about it through word of mouth.
Right,
And so it's imperative that we have conversations like this with those young girls who may not even be considering college yet. At eighth grade, I can't even think I probably wanted to go to Harvard or something. And had all these dreams and stuff, but didn't know how to achieve it.
right,
And so it's those conversations, those small conversations that really just sort of put the pedal, to the metal on it, and make it happen. So yeah, I'm seeing it's very similar answers from all of you about how we can make it happen and sort of keep that momentum going and that drive. And of course, we're here at the national office trying to do that, but it stems from the local levels, and how we can get people who participated continuing to mentor or advocate for the program. Uh,
right.
yeah, so one of the key things of the UIW is the Be Your Best Self program.
Mm,
And so I can already tell from our conversation here that you are doing that every single day. Is there something in particular that, and it could be one of the five things that you're like, this is something I want to do, or it could be, this is something I want to do better at, in those five pillars of the Be Your Best Self program? Because I think, just that initiative alone really drives girls to be their best self.
right. I think the pillar that's always sort of stuck out to me, I mean, I wrote my Be Your Best Self essay on this pillar too, is be ambitious. Um, Especially in high school, I personally know so many girls who struggle with self-doubt. One of the biggest things in my school is it's a very STEM sort of science-oriented school. And a lot of the classes that I'm in, I'll be one of two girls out of 40 students or one of three girls. And even being in those sorts of environments, that sort of knowledge that you're often alone in these spaces is really difficult. But having ambition to push through or sort of keeping track of your goals is really important. And going back to what we're talking about with who should we be contacting, a lot of girls on my sports team, a lot of girls in the clubs that I've in saw on Instagram or social media that I got the title and have been reaching out to me and asking me about the program, which is an amazing place to even begin. Girls' sports teams, debate clubs, Model UN, because these girls are already interested in world events and politics and making the world a better place. So I think these would also be amazing places to target. But yeah, ambition is definitely the most important one to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you just said, starting or having those conversations with the girls who are interested in it, taking that time, taking that moment, just stepping to the side, in the middle of your practice. I don't want you to get in trouble, but just taking that moment to iterate, to explain to them, like, this is so exciting. It's so cool. You're gaining so many things, and it's free. It's free. Is the coolest part. But it's only free because of our sponsors and our sponsorship
Right.
dollars that matter so, so much. Um, and so with all of that, these conversations are, hopefully going to drive that engagement and that desire to help the program survive and continue thriving. So with all of that said, this is our 68th year. We're going on to our 68th year of national finals in June. So we're so excited to meet all of you. It'll be here before we know it. Is there anything that you're most looking forward to when you come to Mobile? Have you ever been to Alabama?
No, I've actually never been to any of the southern states. Other than California, I think I've only been to New York. So I'm
Okay,
super excited.
we gotta get some check some boxes off for the state for
Yeah,
the map.
I'm
Um,
totally excited.
well, that's great. Alabama is excited to welcome you, and you're gonna have a really cool experience while you're here. It's 2 weeks, which is seems like such a long time, but it's gonna fly by. And you're gonna get to experience so many things